The Highland Park Scots swim through dangerously uncharted waters. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Highlander Fieldhouse. So glad you could join us for some matinee basketball. I'm Brian Sutcliffe, joined as always by my good friend, Coach David Clark. And today, the Highland Park Scots meet the Carrollton Creekview Mustangs in what is now a pivotal District 10 4A matchup. The Scots fought gamely on the road less than 48 hours ago against the state's 8th-ranked team, the West Mesquite Wranglers, in an effort to avoid their first ever 0-2 district start under head coach David Peeler. It was a 64-61 loss, Coach Clark, but we said at the end of that game, you may call that a good loss if there is such a thing. I know as a coach, you'll immediately tell me that there isn't, and I certainly wouldn't blame you, but the Scots played very well in that game, but for a span of about 2 minutes in the fourth quarter when it was some untimely turnovers and untimely missed free throws that did the Scots in.
I think so, Brian. That was a rugged game, a full court game. West Mesquite plays tough defense, on the ball defense, and you just go kind of brain dead for a couple of possessions and you give up points. And we saw some long range shooting from the Wranglers that was very, very impressive. And they're a good team and they're worthy of their rank, and the Scots played real well for a good period of that time.
Today it's the Creekview Mustangs that stand between the Scots and their first district win of the season. They come into this game at 9-11 on the season. They are 1-1 in District 10 4A. The Scotties entered this game at 15-6. Once again, 0-2 in district play for the first time in Coach David Peeler's 7th district season. The Creekview Mustangs lost their first district game on Thursday against the Poteet Pirates 44-36, while it was the Scots on the road falling to West Mesquite 64-61. Let's go down now to the public address announcer for the national anthem and the introduction of the starting lineups.
High School Mustangs and the Highland Park Scots. I'd like to introduce the starting lineup for Creekview. At guard, number 6'1", senior, number 5, Lee Diop. At forward, number 6'3", senior, number 11, Alex Rincon. At the post, number 6'5", junior, number 23, Destin O'Gary. Forward, 6'3", junior, number 24, Ranjit Mason. And then guard, 5'8", senior, number 32, Eon Spate. Now for the Highland Park Scots. At the wing, 6'7", senior, number 2, Captain Chase Fletcher. At guard, 5'10", senior, Captain Matt Casilla. At guard, 6'3", junior, number 10, Matthew Price. At the wing, 6'5", senior, number 20, Will Miller. And at the post, 6'5", junior, number 52, Blake Murtha. Head coach David Peeler and assistant Travis Allen.
By Sean Tippett in his first year after Jonathan Ellis left for Prosper in the offseason. They are 9-11 this season, 1-1 in District 10 4A play. Their starters at guard, number 5, Ali Zia, a 6'1" senior. Number 11, Alex Rincon, a 6'3" senior. He starts at forward. The post is number 23, Destin O'Geary. He's a 6'5" junior. Also at forward, number 24, Ranjit Mason, a 6'3" junior. And the other guard is number 32, Ian Spate, a senior, 5'8". The Highland Park Scots are coached by David Peeler in his 7th season. He is 169-48, a 78% winning percentage. Scotties are 15-6 coming into this one, 0-2 in District 10 4A. The point guard is number 3, Matt Frischella, a 5'10 senior. He played all 32 minutes in the loss on Thursday to West Mesquite. The off guard is number 10, Matthew Kreitz, a junior, 6'3". The wings are number 2, Chase Fletcher, a 6'7 senior, had his second double-double of the season against West Mesquite with 20 points and 10 rebounds. The other wing is number 20, Will Miller, a 6'5 senior who scored exactly 19 points in each of his last 2 games. And the post is the 6'5 junior, number 52, Clayton Murtha. The Scots, in their all-white home uniform, will move from left to right in the first half. Creekview in a rather slick red and black look. These teams faced off.
Creekview run a variety of defenses, and there'll be a lot of mix-up from man, matchup, and 2-3 zones. So it'll be very interesting to see what they're in each possession.
The Scots averaging 55 points per game, allowing a paltry 46.4. Creekview very similar, a 54.6 scoring team, allowing 54 points. This is a squad with Coach Tippett as Will Miller misses his first shot. Matthew Kreitz, who'll join us at halftime on the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots one-on-one, gets the Scots' first rebound. Will try it from the left corner this time. That looks better.
Boy, nice patience by the Scots on offense that time. Will got 2 different looks and knocked the second one down from the corner.
36th three-ball of the season, hit by Will Miller, who now in his last 4 games has hit 10 triples. And, Coach, in the last 10 games for the Scots, Will Miller's the leading scorer on this team.
Which is great to see because the defenses are certainly planning to take Chase out of the mix, and you need some outside shooting.
Ali Zia has been charged with running the point for the first time in his career in his senior season. As the shot was missed by Ranjit Mason, rebound Will Miller had 19 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist in the 3-point loss. Had a good look at a potential tying 3-pointer against West Mesquite. But you can't fault Will, who had an outstanding game. You can't hit them all.
Well, he had a good look, too, in that one. That would have been a fantastic shot had he made it. But, again, they had a chance at that game, and that was just unfortunate.
Chase gets the ball down low, stripped out from behind by Destin O'Geary. He's the team's leader in blocks, averaging nearly 3 per game. Had a really nice game earlier in the season against W.T. White. 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 blocks.
Oh, nice play.
Frischilla to Fletcher. That play has worked so well all year. The junior Clayton Murtha tries to keep it alive, but it's out of bounds to the Mustangs.
It's kind of the screener play where Miller goes baseline and Chase is open after a slipping of the screen. Oh, should get a steal out of this. Good.
Creekview handed the Scots one of their 3 losses a season ago. It was a 65-62 victory over HP in the second round of the Plano tournament. But, Coach, Ali Zia for Creekview, the only player that scored in that game that's even on the Creekview roster anymore. So both of these teams very different from the squads that squared off in that tournament. Frischilla finds Murtha on the turnaround. He couldn't hit it. Will Miller fought hard for the rebound, and it looks like he was fouled.
Now, Creekview's last year's group was a senior-laden group, and they were a force. They really were a good team and gave the Scots a really tough game.
Will tries it again and hits it again. It's Will Miller 6, Creekview nothing with 5:38 left in the first quarter.
Off to a good start. Will didn't hesitate again. He's stroking it.
The Scots in a virtual must-win situation tonight as HP travels to Carrollton to take on Newman Smith, who's 2-0. We'll run you through the district snapshot after this first quarter. Zia.
Good defense.
That's Alex Rincon who was not able to save the ball in. So the Scots leading 6-0.
Good half-court defense again by the Scots. And well, if they could jump on Creekview early, this would sure help their confidence.
There's a steal by Zia. He's got Spade off to his right. It's stripped out by Frischilla. Frischilla and Matthew Kreitz are pitched in a fairly tight tussle for the team leader in steals. Right now it's Kreitz with a 31-30 edge.
They're both got great hands, quickness, and it's going to be a battle all the way through for that title, individual team title.
Baseline inbound, caromed off some legs down low into the hands of Clayton Murtha, and the Scots have it on the takeaway. HP turning their opponents over about 15 times per game, and Will Miller is on fire. He has 9 first-quarter points. All of HP's points so far have come via the long-range shot by Will Miller, and with 4:40 left, there's a timeout on the floor. As we say hello for the first time to the Altshuler & Company Scots mop crew. It's Robert White and Brooks White. It's like it's Robert off to the right and Brooks over to the left. Altshuler and Company is a real estate advisory services firm that features big ideas and flawless execution. Altshuler and Company, proud sponsors of the Scots Mop Crew.
Also got Connor Berry down there from the freshman team and Andrew Enzor down there monitoring. We like to always recognize those freshman basketball players who are helping out with that mop crew.
.435 left first quarter. All Scots early, 9-0.
Scots in a little 1-3-1 now. Mix it up a little bit.
The 36 points Creekview scored against Poteet, their fewest points of the season. And there's some scouting right there as you saw Chase Fletcher coming over to double team Ian Spate, who's a very good three-point shooter.
Boy, the game film we got on Creekview, he was hot from the outside against Plano, and he's a great shooter, so they definitely don't want to give him a look.
He's hit over 25 three-pointers coming into this game on the season. He has 4 games where he's hit at least 4.
I think Plano must have been one of them because he was sure hot, and he was keeping them in the game.
Derek Kahn's in the game for the first time, number 44, the 6'5 junior, as looks like Chase Fletcher's getting some attention on that right elbow. Maybe a burn of some kind down there.
Something.
Here's Rincon with a jump stop. Nice little jump hook finds the bottom of the cup. And Creekview's on the board. Scots lead at 9-2. Frischilla out to Kreitz. Had a foot on the line. That's a long 2.
It's a good drive and dish again from Frischilla, the assist leader for the Scots.
Will Miller jumping into the passing lane, prevented that pass out to the wing for Ian Spate. More double team coverage out in the corner. Wild shot by O'Geary's off the mark. It's another rebound for the senior, Will Miller. Frischilla over to the right side for Kahn. Had it stripped out. Desmond Funches, a 5'11 sophomore who was called up for the Plano tournament, has played very well in limited action, averaging just under 7 points per game in his time on the varsity squad.
Good to see kids from the JV get a chance to show what they can do.
Frischilla to Kahn, stripped out, no call.
Well, Derek had a nice little pump fake. He couldn't quite finish. Nice defense.
Ranjit Mason forces the baseline inbound with 3:28 left in the first quarter. Scots lead at 11-2. Creekview at 9-11 this season has had a problem getting anything going in terms of a long winning streak. Their longest streak of consecutive wins this season is 2. Tough to get anything going when you can't put together a winning streak. And the Scots have 6 losses here, but they've had some nice winning streaks, so they still have a pretty impressive record. Kahn in the left corner, bottom.
Well, that's nice to see Derek hit a 3, get hot, get some confidence going again.
4 of the Scots' 5 field goals in the first quarter from outside. Nice pass over to Ranjit Mason. Mason with his first 2. It's a 10-point Scots lead, 14-4. Still just under 3 minutes left in the first. The Scots shooting from beyond the arc has gotten much better. In the first 11 games, the Scots shot 27% from beyond the arc. In the next 10, they're at 36%.
Well, a lot of that is Will Miller getting hot, too. It's been nice to see him continue a hot streak.
Frischilla will skip it into the corner for Kreitz. Kreitz off the bounce, floats a 12-footer up and in.
Well, Kreitz has been playing a lot better last week or 2. It's nice to see him playing with such confidence.
Rincon over into the corner for Mason. Mason skipped it over to Spate. Spate pulled it away from Frischilla. Give it back to Mason. Fires from the baseline. He missed it. Ball is tapped. It goes to HP. As number 5, Trey Garrison, the 6'4 senior, and Chase Fletcher back in. Clayton Murtha will get his first breather, along with Matthew Kreitz. Kreitz with a nice 4 points and a nice start.
Get a little 1-3-1 look now from the Mustangs. Scott's run a backdoor cut.
Big rejection by Destin O'Geary. Averages 3 blocks per game, and you can see why. He's been a force in the paint early on. Then takes it away from Frischilla. Tough move off the glass, no good. Zia fights for it. It's pulled away by Derek Kahn. Here come the Scots, leading by 12, 16-4. Under 1:45 left in the first quarter. Brian Sutcliffe with Coach David Clark. Skip it over to Garrison. Garrison tried to pump it to Chase Fletcher, and there's O'Geary again.
Quick hands. Mustangs really run well. They get back on defense so quickly too. That's been very impressive. I know their JV did that too very well. Miller.
Oh. Toilet bowls out. Offensive rebound and put back by the senior captain Chase Fletcher. Averaging 14.1 points and 6.2 rebounds per game. He's over 2 assists per game now as well as Chase.
It's nice that he recognizes a double team and he can pass out of that. He's going to get some more assists. They'll hit the shot after he kicks it out.
Fraschilla forced Mason to the baseline. Destin O'Geary floats up a right-hander, which finds the bottom of the cup.
Good shot. Again, that's a contested shot. Oh. Turnover. Matthew trying to make something happen.
Jake Stiganga comes in, and Matt Fraschilla gets his first breather in a couple games. He's played all 32 minutes against West Mesquite. That was less than 48 hours ago, Coach. So you have to like getting a nice big lead early so you can get Matt some rest.
That was a rugged game, too. I mean, that's a tough 32 minutes with somebody in your face the whole time, and that can wear you out a little bit.
Stiganga, number 11, the 5'10 junior. Pump it into O'Geary. He was body checked by Chase Fletcher. Second team foul against Highland Park.
Scott's trying to trap again out of the 1-3-1 in the corner. Chase didn't have enough time to get back and recover on the block.
Ali Zia fires it out to Bunches. And Zia hits the triple from the corner. 18-9. Scots lead it by 9 with 40 seconds left. Straight on 3 ball. That's Khan's spot. Left it a little bit short. Ball comes down to Ali Zia. So Creekview trying to mount a bit of a surge during the waning moments of the first quarter. The first 8 minutes that have been dominated by the Highland Park Scots.
Scott's back to man now. Derek with a nice defensive board. See if they can get a basket here last 20 seconds.
There's 20 seconds. Stiganga. Jake kicks it over to the right side for Garrison. 10 seconds. Khan pump it mid-post left. Chase using those nice low post moves, and that is not fair. 4 points for Chase Fletcher. 20-9, Scots lead it. Firing it up at the buzzer. Missing it to the right was Dylan Kittrell. And a great first quarter of play for the Highland Park Scots. They'll head to the second, leading Creekview 20-9. At Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks, with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. Where we're through 2 games of the District 10 4A schedule, let's take a look at what the 10 4A standings look like after 2 games. You've got West Mesquite, Newman Smith, and Mesquite Poteet all tied atop the standings at 2-0. Creekview and Forney even at 1-1, and then Highland Park in a somewhat unfamiliar position down to the bottom of the standings, along with North Forney and Terrell at 0-2. In the last rotation of games, you had Poteet taking down Creekview 44-36. Poteet now coached 2-0, both games on the road. They outscored the Mustangs, when you combine the first and fourth quarters, 31-15.
You know, we thought Poteet was kind of a sleeper in that thing because they really had their football players joined them late, and they're going to be a different team in this second half of the season.
It was Newman Smith beating Forney 76-56, and Forney over Terrell 63-54. So coming into today, there were 8 games that have been played in the district so far, and road teams are 6-2. And the only team to win at home is West Mesquite, who's 2-0 at home. 20-9, Highland Park jumped out to a big early lead, a bit of an early push, or a late push by Creekview in the final moments of the first quarter. And the Scots will deploy number 20, Will Miller, number 5, Trey Garrison, number 44, Derek Kahn, number 11, Jake Stiganga, and number 2, Chase Fletcher, as they move from left to right for the remainder of the first half.
Mustangs showing a little 1-3-1 now. Up.
Zia with a near steal. Stiganga will have to deal with double team pressure. Chase faked the pass from the corner, finds the trailing Khan, who strokes in a mid-range jumper.
Well, his intermediate game is really good, and now that he can hit that 3, it's just going to make that a little bit better.
He's got 5 early points. The Scots lead it by 13, 22-9. Chase dives in to try to get the steal. Zia will pull up. He'll just kind of throw a right-hander up from about 12 feet and hit it.
Nice shot. He came up with a kind of a loose ball and good shot.
Zia's averaging nearly 12 points per game. Stiganga will battle with Funches. Somehow Chase Fletcher got himself all alone underneath, but the Scots thought that pass from Stiganga was deflected into the backboard, but the baseline official did not agree, so the Scots turn it over as Matthew Kreitz comes back in. Getting a breather for Will Miller.
Scott's back to the 1-3-1 with Derek Kahn on top. He's a worker bee on that defense.
Jake playing defense on the baseline in that 1-3-1 look, and his help defense there in the corner forces another turnover.
Yeah, Rincon tried to bounce that off of Jake's foot and ended up stepping out of bounds himself.
All alone, Garrison for three, a little short. Rincon bats the ball to O'Geary. We're a minute 40 into the second quarter. All Scots 22-11. There's Zia, draws contact, offensive foul. There's Jake Stiganga.
Well, Jake did a good job then of drawing the charge. And again, those charges, that's contagious. And Chase, of course, sets the bar. And we've had a lot of guys trying to participate in that. And it's one of those things that's really recognized by Coach Peeler.
Fifth charge drawn of the season by the junior Jake Stiganga. Here's Kahn. He'll turn and shoot that all day.
That 15-foot range is perfect for Derek. He knocks that down, has a lot of confidence.
Another guy that will be called on to pick up his offensive game if the Scots want to do what they're going to have to do, which is, you got 12 games left in district, 12-0, 11-1. That's probably what you're going to need to go if you want a real shot at defending your district title. As Funches missed from the left wing, rebound Matt Kreitz. Strangely enough, we talk about the Scots needing to find ways to score, but in 2 of their losses this year, they've scored 60 or more points.
Right, those are good teams too. they're scoring 60.
Not bad.
They're not bad.
You're talking about West Mesquite and McKinney in those cases.
Those are 2 good teams, and I think we need a big second half out of Derek and some of these guys. Matthew Kreitz, some of those guys need a big second half of the season, particularly in this district, for us to successfully defend our crown.
First foul of the game against Desmond Funches, 3rd team foul. As Chase had the ball stripped out on the way up, and there's Clayton Murtha getting the steal, getting it ahead to Chase, who'll lay it in with the right hand.
Boy, nice hustle play by Clayton Murtha on getting a little deflection and then looking up and seeing Chase running the floor.
Murtha has been so good this year. He leads the team in assist to turnover ratio at 2.3. Not something you typically expect from your big man.
No, not at all. But Clayton is one of those guys that's really stepped up in the last month. He's really been a great rebounder, had just enough offense to keep a little pressure off of Chase, and playing great defense and great rebounding.
First foul against Jake Stiganga, 3rd team foul. Team's even at 3 fouls in the first half. Alex Rincon with his 3rd point of the game, averaging 74% at the free throw line.
Frischella's back in the game. That'll be his 3-minute break for the game, I'm sure, if this thing is close at all.
Good effort from Stiganga in his minutes.
We forget Jake was a starter last year much of the time, so a lot of good, valuable experience as a sophomore.
Frischella fires from the baseline. He missed it.
It's all right. I like to see Matthew taking that shot. He needs to take that and take a little pressure off the inside game.
Jamal Jones into the game, finds the trailing Rincon. The ball was lost out of bounds. Clayton Murtha thought he'd drawn a charge.
Boy, it sure looked like he did, and I think the ball went out of bounds first and blew the whistle on that.
Garrison gets his hand into the passing lane from the baseline. Jones strips it out, and it'll back off. Spate, we haven't seen much shooting from the outside from Spate. I think they've had to take him out because the Scots have so much size out there. They list Spate at 5'8". I'm not sure he's that tall. Garrison all alone. Karam's out. Rebound by Larry Hughes, who's a 6'7" sophomore.
Well, then Garrison make a great play on the other end.
Up ahead to Kreitz. He goes to the line. He was fouled by Alex Rincon.
Trey's got a great mentality on the shots. I mean, he hit some big ones the other night against West Mesquite, and he's not going to hesitate to put it in and give it a shot.
Kreitz, a 67.6% free throw shooter, and Matthew Kreitz has 5 first-half points.
Will Miller and Evan Buechler. Evan's going to come in for Kreitz here, and he's one that's spent half a season with me on the JV, and he can shoot it really well.
Kreitz goes 1 for 2. Scots, they thought they had the ball on the missed shot, and Evan Buechler comes in the game. Number 15, he's a 6'4" junior, hit his first varsity field goal to really get the Scots going in the second half against Bishop Lynch.
Evan's got a long range. He can hit from way beyond the arc. If it gets an opportunity, gets going. He's a real streaky kid.
There's Spate. They freed him up. It was halfway down. Hughes fights for the rebound, and there's Buechler. Tried to get it, but Jamal Jones took it away. Fraschilla did a great job getting on top of Spate.
That's going to be a good matchup watching those two go at it.
Firing from long range. There's a hold down on the floor. And from the body language, it looks like it's on Chase, and it is. Chase had 20 points and 10 rebounds against West Mesquite.
That's the second one on Chase, so that'd be worth watching. We don't want him to get his third one here before the end of the half.
27-13 Scotties.
That's Spate coming out.
That's his spot. You can see why. Averaging just under 9 points per game, but that's his first scratch in this one. It's an 11-point Scots lead, 27-16. Fraschilla to Fletcher for 2, and down to the floor goes Chase.
Well, that's a good give and go right there. That's the way you draw it up.
Spate will shoot that all day. I think the Scots will give him that too. Of course, the way they saw Braylon Rayson crank 7 3-pointers on Thursday, they've seen teams hit their fair share of threes. West Mesquite in that game hit 13 from beyond the arc. They had only 6 field goals from inside the three-point line.
I think that's going to be their story. They're going to live and die by the 3.
Nice pass to Buechler, lays it in. Fraschilla to Fletcher to Buechler for 2.
That back cut, that was there the other night too against West Mesquite. They're overplaying defense and got a little back cut, and Evan finished it.
You know Evan's going to play the Fraschilla down on the floor. Spade will watch it go out of bounds.
Those two little guys are going to battle. This will be a great matchup. Matthew Fraschilla is a great defensive player, and he's not having to guard a 6-footer here, so he won't be posted up or anything. It'd be a great thing to watch. Now they go back to the 1-3-1. Evan runs that real well on top.
Skip it over to Spate, finds a hole in the left corner and hits.
Problem with the 1-3-1 is you're going to give some guys some shots from the corners if you're not going to get there quick enough, and it's when they rotate the ball, it's going to give them a look.
There's Will Miller. He hit 3 3-pointers in the first quarter, so he could do some damage from outside as well. To the trailer, it's Buechler for 3. Boom! It's a shooting gallery here. Both teams letting it rip as soon as they get over the timeline, it seems.
That's going to be fun. I guarantee you both teams got guys that can really shoot it.
Already 8 made 3-pointers in the game between these teams.
Well, it's good to see Evan hit his first one. That's great.
That was a moonshot, too.
That's great. That's a little glance at what he's capable of doing.
Lob it into Jones. He'll find the trailer. Spade again. Yes, sir.
He can hit it. He can sure hit it.
That's 9 points in a flash, and somehow Chase Fletcher finds a hole. He's found by Fraschilla. Chase Fletcher into double figures. Matt Fraschilla averaging 8.5 assists per game.
Well,
none much easier than that one.
None easier, but boy, you got to credit Fraschilla for being able to see those guys way down the court like that. That's through a lot of bodies.
This time it's Zia firing the 3, and he hits. He watched it sail through from the floor.
Everybody's hot now.
Everybody's getting into the act. Buechler again. Missed it to the right. Offensive rebound. Murtha looked like it might have been stripped out by Larry Hughes, but Hughes doesn't get the call.
Brian, I really like this lineup that the Scots have on the court right now. I think you got 2 long wings in Buechler and Miller. You got a great point guard, and you got inside defense and inside offense. So I really like what's on the court here.
First foul of the game against Larry Hughes. 5th team foul as Buechler leaves. Number 13, Ben Livingston, who had a pair of three-pointers in the second quarter against West Mesquite.
Had a good game against them. Ben's a battler. He'll fight. He'll be a good on-the-ball defender, too.
Clayton Murtha continues to excel at the line. He's now at 66% on the season.
Scots need to close out this quarter a good way because they've really played well and they've had this game under control, and you can't let Spate make another shot or do anything that's going to give them any momentum going into the second half.
42 points is the most the Scots have scored in the first half this year. They've got 38 with just under a minute left. Bounce it over to O'Geary. They'll try Spate. Surprised he didn't fire that. Mason and Condu battle going to the crossover. Chase Fletcher manning the paint there as Spate can't hit that one. He doesn't miss by much.
He doesn't. It rattles around. Let's see if the Scots will hold for one. Looks like they are.
25 seconds. Scots by 13, 38-25. HP led 20-9 after one. Ali Zia fouls Ben Livingston.
They had a foul to give, but now the next one the Scots will be shooting. Again, they're holding for the last shot. This will be good. The Scots need this possession. This will be good. They need to cash in right here. Oh,
Fraschilla got fouled. Zia thought he fouled him. He intended to.
I think he was
trying
trying
to. Matt Fraschilla scores.
I think he was trying to put Matt on the line and didn't get the call, and Matt went right by him.
Kittrell missed the shot at the buzzer, and a nice first half of play by the Highland Park Scots. They go to the halftime locker room leading the Creekview Mustangs of Carrollton 40-25. At Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. And Texas Capital Bank also brings you this latest edition of the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots One-on-One, when I was pleased to be joined before the game by junior Matthew Kreitz. Junior guard Matthew Kreitz. And Matthew, it's a pretty big deal. You're a junior, your first year on varsity, but you've been starting virtually the entire season. Talk a little bit about how you've been so successful in gaining that type of contribution this season.
Well, I think it all starts with confidence. It's just confidence in yourself and working hard in practice. And then if you do well in practice and your part, the coach will gain confidence in you, and then you'll end up starting in the game.
You've been one of the best defensive players on the team this season. You lead the team in steals. How have you been so successful at the defensive end this year?
I think defense is just mainly just about being aggressive, and since I'm quick and fast, I'm able to get steals and stay in front of my defender, and that's pretty much how I'm successful.
So we're through a couple of district games this season. The first two didn't quite go your way. Still a lot of basketball left. What's the mindset on the team right now as you've got 12 district games left, but you're sort of a couple games in the hole? How is this team going to bounce back?
Well, I guess the first two games we lost, that serves as motivation. They were questionably the greatest, or the two best teams that we're going to play in the district, and so we're just motivated to win the next 12.
Now, you're in a position where guys like you and Derek Kahn and Clayton Murtha and Mitchell Kaufman, who's a sophomore, are going to, as you go forward, really be assuming the levels of responsibility that some of the guys like Chase and Matt Wilson currently play for the team. What have you learned from those guys that's going to help you as you go in and assume one of those leadership roles going forward?
Yeah, they're just in practice, they just teach me and teach everyone how to be a leader, and with their confidence, and show everyone, since they've been on the team for 2 or 3 years, they just show what it takes to be the leader and be successful.
Matthew Kreitz, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking some time. We hope you do it again this year. We're at halftime at the Highlander Fieldhouse Scots and Creekview Mustangs. The third quarter is next.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowder at snowdeck@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.
40-25, the Highland Park Scots lead the Creekview Mustangs of Carrollton at halftime for the Highlander Fieldhouse. Hey, we want to let you know that HP Basketball's annual Hoops and Hot Sauce dinner and auction is coming up Friday, February 1st. For more information on tickets, underwriting, and auction donations, email hoopsandhotsauce@gmail.com. Chase Fletcher's the leading scorer for the Scots in the first half with 10 points. Matt Frischilla had 2, Matthew Kreitz with 5, Evan Buechler with 5, all in the second quarter. Will Miller hit 3 3-pointers in the first quarter to total his 9 first-half points. Derek Kahn with 7 in the first half, and Clayton Murtha with 2. The leading scorer for Creekview is Ian Spate. The 5'8 junior hit 3 3-pointers in the second. All 9 of his points came in the second 8 minutes of play. Ali Zia with 8 points, Alex Rincon with 4. Destin O'Geary and Ranjit Mason with 2 points apiece. The Scots led it 20-9 after 1. They outscored Creekview 20-16 in the second to take a 15-point halftime lead. The Scots move from right to left in their home whites. It's your starting 5 on the floor. Miller, Fletcher, Frischilla, as there's that fake on the elbow. Chase takes it strong to the hole, but Destin O'Geary might have got a hand on it from behind. Clayton Murtha and Matthew Kreitz out there to round out the 5 for David Peeler's Highland Park Scots, looking to get their first district win of the season. Ranjit Mason with a nice flash to the baseline, has to battle with Clayton Murtha. Clayton just too much height. Good position, keeping that alignment straight up and down so as to avoid any kind of foul call and force the miss.
Clayton very physical underneath. That was a good defensive stop there. Now he's going to finish at the other end. Oh.
Unlucky.
Boy, that's a good give and go and quick reversal and got him the ball wide open. That's too bad he couldn't finish that.
You know, Coach, I'm sure you know as well, if not better than anyone, is you coach these guys. You're coaching the guys this year that are going to be up on the big team next year. You've coached some guys this year that are now on the big team this year. We won't get into that too much. I won't unpeel the scab from that one.
No,
but,
that's okay.
In all seriousness, you really have to be ready at any position for this team to catch the ball cutting to the basket. You got to have good hands.
You really
Offensive foul. Clayton Murtha took it.
Yes, you really do.
Can't have guys with hands of stone and play for Highland Park.
No, you really can't. And these guys have all kind of fine-tuned their game, and our pick and roll ball screen offense is really set where our bigs have got to have good hands to catch that ball on the move. And they do a great job. Guys like Chase have done it for 3 years, and Clayton's doing it. There's a little high-low to Clayton.
And one.
Clayton found Chase on a little high-low cut. That's a set play again off Coach Peeler. Off his playlist, which he's got a bunch of them, so that's great. You know, Scott's needed a solid start to this game to get some confidence, and they've had a great first half for them, and it looks like they're picking it up right where they left off in the second quarter.
First foul on Destin O'Geary, and it's 2 quick fouls against Creekview as Chase Fletcher pours in his 13th point. Scots are 4 for 6 at the line in this game. And that free throw shooting percentage continues to rise. In the last 9 games, the Scots shooting 69% at the charity stripe, and only one time in that period of 9 games that the Scots shot under 60%.
That's great to be that consistent again, and we knew that number was going to go up as the year went by.
And you're back up to about 63%. So this was a squad that for much of the early stages was having a hard time getting to 60. Kreitz finds Miller for 2.
Good 2-on-1 and nice finish by Will Miller. Did not hesitate to take that to the rim.
Spade over to Kittrell. Freeing up Spade, but not able to keep Matt Frischilla at bay enough to get an open look. So Kittrell will fire it up. A little bit too hefty. Offside board. An easy one for Kreitz. Then he gets the block after Kittrell stole the pass to Frischilla. Oh, Will Miller left the left-hander. Will Miller turns. Can't hit the little turnaround one-hander. O'Geary with another block, but he's called for a foul.
Well, it's good hustle on the offensive glass by a host of Scots there. Boy, I'd like to see Matthew Kreitz down at the other end. He made a kind of a bad turnover, and then he turns around and makes a great defensive stop and got the Scots back going the right direction.
Chase with 14 points. A bit of a drought for Chase as he hasn't taken a charge now in 2.5 games, which he had a streak of 10 games in a row with at least one charge drawn, but the guy who wrote the book on drawing charges hadn't had one in a few.
As we said earlier, boy, it's contagious to see these other guys taking them down here. Stegenga's gotten one, and Clayton Murtha's gotten one today, and it's just been good because those guys, Chase kind of sets the example, as a good captain should.
Kreitz lost the handle, but the Scots get another look.
Oh.
Kahn's pass knocked away. Will tried to throw it down with two hands. It goes off the mark. Rebound, Chase Fletcher. He missed it. Derek Kahn gets one rebound, gets two, gets three, and he's fouled.
Well, you're talking about that height advantage right there. We got some big guys down there just battling some very athletic inside post players, and they're coming away with the ball or fouls.
That's a way to boost those rebounding numbers.
It sure is. We'd sure like to see one of those go in and get an and one instead of having to get two at the line.
First foul on Dylan Kittrell. Derek misses. But a 71% free throw shooter this season. Gets the second, though. Derek Kahn with 8 points. His season high is 11. He's done it on a couple of occasions.
Scott's back in the 1-3-1. It's been very effective. Got to watch for Spate in the corner, though.
Dangerous pass. Skipped over to Funches. He takes it away from Kreitz. 4:42 left, third quarter. 48-25 Scots. O'Geary spun to the baseline. He was fouled. It's just the third free throw of the game for Creekview coming up.
They've been living out by the perimeter. It's not like they've been banging the ball inside and getting some contact fouls, so this that doesn't surprise me.
That's 3 on Chase. Just the first team foul against the Scots in the second half.
And Ian Spate getting a little rest over there, well-deserved. He and Matthew Frischella have been battling up and down the court.
O'Geary with his third point as Stegenga comes back in. More rest now for Matt Frischella. The Scots will be back in action Tuesday night at 7:30 on the road against the Newman Smith Trojans.
That'll be a tough game. Scots are well aware of what the Trojans can do.
You may remember the Trojans were the Scots' opening round playoff opponent last year.
Exactly.
Scotties weren't quite ready for that one, but then Jake at least forces Creekview to have to set up the half-court offense. Derek Kahn gets his hand in the passing lane. Kicks it over to Stegenga, who will methodically bring it into the front court. Ball's tapped to the passing lane. Up ahead to Ali Zia. Zia has to deal with Jake Stegenga. Looked like he tried to switch the hand there, or at least double clutch it, and that might have caused that miss. And there's a timeout taken by David Peeler with 4:08 left in the third quarter. The Highland Park Scots leading the Creekview Mustangs of Carrollton 48-27. I'm Brian Sutcliffe with Coach David Clark. The Scotties at 0-2 in district play, but in good shape right now, leading by 21 with about half of the third quarter and all of the fourth to go.
The Scots need to just be patient on offense. They've tried to make something out of, kind of force a little action those last couple of possessions. And with a 21-point lead, the clock's your friend, and you want to make sure that you are working for the best shot possible and not giving up anything. Makes it easy for the Mustangs at the other end.
Chase Fletcher with 15 points to lead all scorers. Had 4 in the first quarter, 6 in the second, and a quick 5 in the first half of the third quarter.
This is an important stretch right here. I mean, this 21-point lead, and you don't want the Mustangs to have a chance to get back into this thing. So Scots need to really take care of the ball, play solid defense, and make the Mustangs work for everything they get.
This is a pretty good defensive team from Creekview. They haven't allowed more than 74 points in a game this year. Zia. Zia will try the triple. No, sir. Derek Kahn with a rebound.
Again, nice rebound by Derek coming off that miss. That's an important important miss for the Scots here.
Kreitz takes it in. Good strong move, but shot was off the mark. Fletcher tried to tap it out to the perimeter for a teammate. It wasn't there. Kittrell finally gets it. But it's a foul against Creekview.
Boy, that's a good call. I mean, they're scrambling for the ball, and Will Miller was really hustling after that loose ball and drew a foul from Kittrell.
I have to apologize. We don't have number 33 for Creekview on our roster. There's Livingston with a nice flash to the baseline. Tried to take it off the glass. He missed it. O'Geary with the rebound.
It's a good take by Ben, going in there with the big guys and unable to finish, but it's good confidence builder for him.
Ali Zia drew some contact. He'll earn a trip to the free throw line with 3:08 left, third quarter. Scotties lead it 48-27. As Zia takes the first of two, we'll run you through the District 10 4A schedule today. There's some good ones. You got Creekview at Highland Park in this one. You got a rivalry game as North Forney visits Forney. That will be a spirited affair, to say the least. You've got Terrell at Poteet. Poteet could start 3-0, as they'll certainly be favored over Terrell. Zia goes 1 for 2, and then you got the big game of this rotation as West Mesquite travels to Newman Smith. So one of those 2-0 teams will get their first loss today.
That'll be a big game. That'll be a fun one to watch.
You know, I guess you have to say you need to root for Newman Smith in that one, as the Scots have dropped one to West Mesquite early on. DeAndre Abrams scores his first points of the game. That pulls Creekview to within 18 at 48-30. But the Scots have 2 games ahead against Newman Smith, so the Scots can take care of business against those guys. But one of the 2 opportunities against West Mesquite has already fallen by the wayside. So would probably be beneficial for the Scots if the Trojans could pull that one out.
That'd probably help them. Then they kind of have a little bit more of the opportunity in your own hands there. Coach Peeler calls a timeout there. The Scots were getting kind of sloppy those last few possessions, and I think he's made a couple of substitutions. He's not very happy, even though it's an 18-point game right now. You just don't want to let the Mustangs have a chance to get back into this thing.
Congratulations on another victory in the JV game.
JV off to a nice 3-0 district start.
Matt Wilson, number 32, the senior captain, into the game for the first time. Evan Buechler comes back in, number 15. Fletcher and Trey Garrison, number 5. As Creekview showing a bit of their single high man defense. Buechler for 3, very short. Garrison gets the rebound, fights hard for it. Buechler was cutting to the basket, but Garrison's called for the travel.
That's still a good look, but Evan had a good look, just didn't quite hit it, but that's good rotation against Mustangs 1-3-1.
Zia with that jump stop was bottled up nicely by Garrison, finds O'Geary. Shot finds nothing. Funches tries to get the rebound. He lost it out of bounds. 2:07 left in the third quarter. Scots with a big lead, 48-30.
Mustangs 1-3-1 again. Had some success with this.
They'll find Wilson. The southpaw fires and hits.
That's his range too, just inside the 3-point line. Matt's pretty tough to stop. Scots needed that hoop. They're kind of stagnant there for a while, so that's a big basket by our senior captain.
That's a big shot, as you mentioned, Coach. You know, Wilson into the game for the first time and showing no fear whatsoever, cranking it up and getting a quick bucket.
Yeah, Matt's a leader in every aspect of what he does, baseball field or basketball court or the classroom. He's quite a kid.
Chase Fletcher leaves as Murtha comes back in.
Scott's back to man now.
Ali Zia floats that right-hander up there, no good. Hughes fights with Buechler for the rebound, and Buechler wins this battle as he tapped it over to Murtha. Buechler invited that double team, skip it out straight on. Ben can hit that.
Well, he hit some big ones last Thursday night, and he comes right back to hit a big one. That's a big basket for the Scots.
His 9th three-pointer of the year gives the Scots a 23-point lead, 53-30. Pulling up, DeAndre Abram missed it left. Livingston's all over the place. We're saying his name quite a bit since he's entered the game. 55 seconds. Garrison gets the ball off the deflection. They'll say, you're going to give me that space. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to hit it.
That's a good decision by Trey. He kind of hesitated, didn't really know what was going, if they were going to let him have that one, and he's too good a shooter to give that much range to. 4
HP players have hit at least one three-pointer in this game, and the Scots lead it 56-30, playing one of their best games of the year. After that very difficult loss to West Mesquite less than 48 hours ago, you wondered how the Scotties would respond. You know, you're 0-2 in district for the first time. Uncharted waters, as we talked about in the open. But HP has responded with execution.
They played hard today, and they played well. That's even more important. They really needed to play well.
Livingston with a tough drive to the bucket. He'll shoot 2.
You know, Coach Peeler told me before the game, he said, I think I'm more nervous for this game than any game I've coached for. Because, I mean, he knew how critical, if you went down 0-3, that was going to be for them.
That was probably going to be it.
That was
for the district championship.
For the district championship, it certainly was. Now they're back in it, and you know, he was telling the kids the other day that it's going to be hard for someone to go through this, winning 13-1, 12-2. So the Scots are still in it, and you never count them out. And Scots always find a way. So they'll figure a way out of this hole that they're in, and it may be to win 12 straight games.
Well, you look at the way they've played, and all you can ask for, I think, Coach, and you can refute this, but you just want to have your team getting better. And, you know, the Scots seem to be getting better as this team has gone through, as that's how the third quarter of play ends, with the Highland Park Scots all over the Creekview Mustangs, 57-30. At Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks, with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. 57-30, HP all over Creekview. Looking to move to 1-2. And as we said, you got West Mesquite and Newman Smith that are playing right now, so that'll be one more team that picks up its first district loss.
You know, Creekview got it to 48-30, and Scots were going through a real sloppy point, and then 9 straight points to end the quarter really helped get the control of this game back, and a little more in a relaxation mode, I think, for Coach Snowden and Coach Peeler over there on the sidelines. I expect him to come out with maybe the senior starting group or some senior leadership, and then give some kids a chance to play here later on.
We'll see some Campbell Brooks here before the game is over.
I bet we will. I bet we will. Maybe even a Stevie Smathers.
I bet we'll get some Mitchell Kaufman as well. They played really well in the Plano tournament. Jones hits the 3. Oh, excuse me, that's DeAndre Abram.
A little 2-2-1. Oh.
Guys need to get it into the front court quickly, and Matt Fraschilla says, let's not risk it. Let's get a timeout here with 7:37 left in the 4th. Creekview's committed 6 team fouls, so the Scots will be in the penalty after the next Mustang infraction. The Scots with only 3 team fouls.
Good heady play by Matthew to call that timeout, and Scots were a little bit caught off guard with that 2-2-1 three-quarter court press. So I'm sure they'll talk about it, and it looks like Coach Peeler's drawn up how he wants to attack it. Really got to attack that on the edge and then reverse the ball and throw it to the middle, and should be able to get a 3-on-2 back the other way. Scots are great at executing what Coach Peeler draws up, so this should be good.
Your same 5 on the floor for the Scots. High pass pulled in by Will Miller.
Yeah, when in doubt, just throw it up to the 6'7" guy and let him catch it on the front court.
Garrison spins away from the screen to the baseline, tried to go to the far block from Murtha, but it was intercepted by Alex Rincon. Number 10, Will Romaine, into the game for the first time here in the 4th. Skip it over to Rincon, thought about the 3, tried to fake the no look over to the wing and bowled over Matt Wilson.
Matt drawing a charge, getting in the books. That's something that he can do. He's smart player, quick feet. Chase back in now, along with Kreitz.
That's Matt's 7th charge drawn this season. Into Kreitz, and you've got your starting 5 on the floor for the Scotties.
Scott's staying real patient and working against that press.
Will Miller just steps away from a double team, tried to go no look to Matthew Kreitz, and HP turns it over. Leading by 24. Rincon hits the trailing Larry Hughes, who just lays it in.
That's a good offensive possession. They're very patient. Maybe it'd be tough to be patient when you're down 20-something, but that was a good possession for him.
Scots with far less trouble dealing with that press. 6:05 left in the 4th, 57-35 Scots. Wide open, Will Miller for 3, missed it to the left. Offensive rebound, put back, Clayton Murtha.
Good job by Clayton Murtha on the offensive glass.
Post entry to the right block. Will Miller tried to take the charge, doesn't get the benefit of the doubt this time.
Larry Hughes, a big sophomore. He's used his body well and got a big bucket out of that one.
Chase over to Kreitz. Kreitz left it a little short, gets his own rebound and rolls it over.
That was good.
Little English on that throw.
That really was. I think he got a little contact there too, and but that was great hustle again to get his own miss and put it back in.
Matt had 6 points in the loss to West Mesquite. Some nice flashes offensively. He was the first Scots player to foul out of a game this year.
Kreitz, one of the quicker kids that we have, and he's got a great first step in games against athletes that are so quick and strong like West Mesquite. We're really going to need him to stay in the game and do what he does and play great defense and score 10 points, and that'll be a great asset for the Scots.
Fraschilla, no look, mid-post left to Murtha. Murtha bodies with Hughes, and Murtha wins this round.
That's just a power move by Clayton Murtha right then. He had a lot of contact and was able to finish.
63-37. There are very few guys you're going to see that make Clayton Murtha look like a smaller guy, but Larry Hughes is one of them. Will Romaine soared to the baseline, couldn't hit the shot. Rebound, Chase Fletcher. There's Murtha. Fraschilla, Murtha, Kreitz. That ball didn't hit the floor.
That's great. That's the way you attack pressure right there.
Matthew Kreitz with 9. He's just 3 off his season high of 12, and there you go. We got some of the guys getting ready to come in. You got Campbell Brown, Mitchell Kaufman, Buechler getting set to come back in, and then there's a steal from Clayton. Fraschilla had it stripped out from behind. Last touch by Fraschilla, quickly gets up. And you got Matt Wilson, number 4, Mitchell Kaufman, the sophomore in the game for the first time, along with JV call-up, number 23, Campbell Brooks, and Evan Buechler, number 15. So a couple of these guys that you know pretty well, Coach.
I do. They're good kids and good players. They're going to help, I think, if they get an opportunity here. I had Mitchell last year as a freshman, and boy, he was ready to go then. He's an excellent sophomore.
That shot was blocked by Mitchell Kaufman as Will Romaine had his effort thrown into the baseline padding.
Mitchell was a golfer, basketball player last year, or his freshman year, and I said, "Are you a golfer playing basketball, or are you a basketball player playing golf?" And he goes, "Coach, I'm a basketball player playing golf." But he's a pretty fair golfer too. I think he's since given up his golf game, concentrating on basketball, so that's good to see.
I gave up my golf game a long time ago.
My golf game gave up me a long time ago. That's good on-the-ball defense by Campbell Brooks. That's one of the things he does real well. He's one of our football players, one of the few that come to the basketball program and show some strength and some athleticism.
And I joke about my golf game. When the guys I play with, I make fun of them because I get more golf for my money than any of those guys. My cost per shot is much lower.
I know the feeling. Speaking of golfers, I've got a new JV player this year, Scotty Scheffler, who I know Scott fans have heard of a lot, and a lot of golfing people from around the country know Scotty. He's one of the top juniors in the nation, and he's turned out to be a heck of a basketball player too. So real happy to have Scotty back on playing basketball as he did his freshman year.
Jamal Jones got a pretty good look there, but he missed it. Ryan Brady, number 14, the sophomore, is in as well.
Yeah, another kid that played JV ball as a freshman. Nice give and go to Matt Wilson. Brady does that real well. Good passer, sees the floor real well.
Scored 12 points to lead all scorers for HP in that first game of the Plano tournament against Irving. Romaine shots missed, and you got good defensive positioning when you have multiple Scots deciding who's going to pull that rebound in.
Exactly. They had a great position, and Mitchell came up with it. Another give and go from Brady to Kaufman this time. Wow. Good play.
Scots by 32, 69-37.
Well, Brian, they needed a game like this. They really did.
This was just what the doctor ordered.
It really was. They played really well. This is not a slouch opponent at all by any stretch of imagination. This is a team that's going to beat some people during the district season, and so this is a good win for the Scots.
Creekview got their district win when they beat Forney on the road 63-50. But Creekview's a team that expects to compete for maybe that fourth playoff spot.
And I think they will. I think it'll be a battle, but I think they got a shot at it to work hard and get a couple of tough road wins. I think they'll be all right.
Less than 2 minutes left. The Scots will pick up win number 16 on the season. And once again, they will avoid a losing streak as HP has not lost consecutive games all season.
That's a sign of a good team that can respond and step up, and good to see them do that.
Two-pointer hit by Demario Brown, his first 2 points of the game. 73, the most points the Scots have scored in a game this year. It was in that second game in Burke-Burnett when the Scots beat Wichita Falls, scoring 73 points. Kick it out to Buechler for 3, got it.
Again, drive, Brian Brady gets to the paint and is able to dish to Evan Buechler. They did that a lot last year, I can tell you that. It's nice to see both of those boys doing so well.
A crisp 8 points as Buechler has hit his second and third three-pointers of the season.
Welcome to the show.
We talked in earlier broadcasts, you know, Buechler's a guy, HP is so unselfish at many times. You need a guy who says, I'm going to crank it. And Evan will do that. You know, he can hit the shot. He knows he can hit the shot, and he has no fear of taking the shot.
He is not. He will take the shot, and he wants the ball in clutch situations, got a lot of confidence, and I think he's really going to help. We're going to play a lot of zones this year, teams that run zone, and with Will Miller on one side and Buechler on the other, you got some real outside shooting threats, and I think it'll be interesting to see the Scots with that kind of lineup.
Well, and you're seeing some other guys too. You're seeing Ben Livingston really find his stroke. You're seeing Kreitz hit some shots on the outside. Trey Garrison can hit it. We've been saying all season long, these are guys we know we can hit it, and now they're stepping up and doing it.
Right. It really is nice to see them kind of waking up. We're going to have a good run here in the next month.
And the Highland Park Scots, one of their biggest wins of the season when they needed it the most, pick up their first district win, taking down the Creekview Mustangs 72-39. Chase Fletcher had 15 points for the Scots. Matt Fraschilla with 2. Got some important rest. One of the most important stats in this game is probably that Matt Fraschilla didn't have to play another 32 minutes. Mitchell Kaufman with 2. Trey Garrison hit his 10th three-pointer of the season. Matthew Kreitz with a nice 9-point night. Ben Livingston with 4. Evan Buechler hit a couple of threes. He had 8 points for his career varsity high. Will Miller with 11 points, had 9 of those in the first quarter. Matt Wilson with 4 points. Derek Kahn with 8 and Clayton Murtha with 6. So Coach HP jumped out, led after 1, 20-9, and really never looked back.
They really needed to have a game like that where they just took charge from the beginning and showed who the better team was, and just went out there and did their thing, did what we do, and was really awesome to see them jump out ahead and then hang on and finish it strong as they did. So that's a big win, and it's put them back on track to compete for the district championship.
They'll have a big game in pursuit of that district championship as HP travels to Carrollton to take on the Newman-Smith Trojans. That will be a 7:30 tip on Tuesday. We hope you will join us. We've had a great crew, as we have all season long, bringing this one to you live and in color. Kelly Snowden, our producer, also handling some graphic work today, wearing a variety of hats. Drew Allman's the director. Alex Kramer on the high cam. Connor Palacios down on the floor, also handling all the video work on the HP Scots one-on-one. We want to thank Matthew Kreitz once again for joining us. We want to thank Texas Capital Bank and the parents of the 2012-2013 Highland Park Scots for making this broadcast possible. Coach David Clark, great job, man.
This is sheer fun.
It is. It's a great time, as always. It's a great team full of great guys. They play hard, and in search of that second consecutive district championship, they got a lot of work ahead, but if they play like they did today, anything is on the table. So until next time, we'll see you Tuesday when the Scots tip it off against the Newman-Smith Trojans at 7:30. Until then, I'm Brian Sutcliffe. So long, everybody.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowden at snowdeck@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.